Scorpio, welcome to your monthly reading for August. I hope you all are doing well. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, all of the information is in the description box below. I have really enjoyed giving you all some readings. You guys are an amazing group of people, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be giving you all personal readings and helping you, navigate your journey of life. Okay, Scorpio, let's jump in, see what August has in store for you. Ooh, one wanted to come out, but not quite. Typical Scorpionic energy. So mischievous, so mysterious. Okay, I have renewal and spark coming out with new life, fresh starts, rejuvenation, healing after crisis, and sacral chakra. I have the Ace of Fire, passion, new starts, activation, creation, desire, new venture, job, or action. Okay, so Scorpio, you're just like, no holds bar here. You're just kind of going at it. You have a whole new life, a whole new cycle, a whole new beginning here ahead of you, whatever this may be in, whether this is a fiery new energy of desire to kind of get things started in a new direction and get things going, whatever that may be in it with regards to work or relationship, just in life in general. It looks like you are ready and eager to go. Okay, so this is a really great energy to be in here in the month of August. Let's keep going, Scorpio, see what's in store for you here for August. So far, things look great. Have a new spark of passion, interest. I have melting. Okay. So with melting here, it's just kind of saying that, there are some things that are just kind of falling away here. Okay. So, some of the energies here are going to be blending one into the other. So you may find that you are kind of got one foot in one life, one foot in the new life, and you're just kind of in the in between and you're just kind of, doing both. Okay. But that's okay. Things might be kind of melting into each other, bleeding into one another, and things may not be so clear. You may not even realize that, you're going to be fully into this new energy because you're kind of still wrapping up details from the past. But this is kind of giving you an indication that, the new energy is here, okay? I have signs. Messages are to be seen and heard. Okay. So there might be, some messages that are trying to get through to you. Okay. Sometimes, the universe is trying to kind of give you little nudges, little hints, and say, hey, things are a little bit better than they seem. So fear not. The new is here. Okay. Maybe you have gone through a very trying period and, it was really exhausting for you. And you were just eager for this new energy to come in. Or maybe here it hasn't come in quite yet because this is a reading for August. So it may be still kind of, beginning to pick up pace for you here throughout the month, okay? And will just increase as the month goes on. But either way, Scorpio, it's saying, watch out for the signs because we're going to be giving you indications of which way to go forward. What are your next steps? Okay, so you need to get really grounded, really quiet, really centered so that you can then embrace this new energy, wait for that spark to come in and take action. Okay, so just be mindful that you need to keep an eye out for some signs and synchronicities that are trying to come in to help guide you along the path for your next new steps. Let's get one more card here and then I'll dive into the tarot for you. I have spiritual gifts. You are in the process of developing and fine tuning your spiritual gifts. Okay, Scorpio, this doesn't surprise me. You are a very intuitive energy here. Okay, you have some spiritual gifts that have been trying to get your attention and calling you down a path of new. This may be an excitement and an energy that you're feeling because you may have actually had a recent awakening and now you're kind of like, ooh, okay, I have gifts. I'm not crazy. So either that or maybe you're getting a new spark of inspiration to take action. This is also a time and a call for action for, light workers, healers, shamans, mystics, readers, whatever it is that do with your spiritual gifts. This can be in any facet of your life, whatever it is that you do. Doctors, lawyers, actors, musicians, you don't just have to be that stereotypical, quote unquote light worker healer, that does these other things with their spiritual gifts. They're found in every aspect of every career, of every place in life. Okay, even stay-at-home parents, grandparents, they all have spiritual gifts and they all play a part in their own way. We all have, a special calling to our hearts, and we go down that path and bring that light and fulfillment and healing and joy and help for others, in those ways that bring us passion because it's an equal give and take in that exchange. Okay, so whatever it is we're doing, if we do it passionately, there's a nice little mutual energy that's taking place here, a nice little equal exchange. Okay, so you might be opening up to these spiritual gifts and trying to explore a little bit about, well, what exactly are they about? Okay, I'm excited. I'm awake now and I don't know what to do with it. Okay. So just hold on tight. Wait for some signs to come in. Okay. I know it seems like they should be really obvious, but they're usually not. You need to get very quiet, get into a nice space. You may want to try meditating, going for quiet walks, whatever it is you kind of need to get into a space where you're able to get into your own bubble so that you don't have outside influence, so that you can hear things adequately, and then accept and acknowledge the signs for exactly what they are. You are not crazy, Scorpio. You are actually receiving signs and synchronicities from the universe, kind of nudging you forward on your path. Okay. Let's take a look at the overall energy for the month of August for you, Scorpio. The overall energy, I have this Seven of Wands. Okay, this is you standing your ground. Okay, whatever it is that's taking place here, taking change in your life, you are standing your ground and you are not budging here. Okay, this may also be a call to say, guard and protect your energy. You may be very busy. You may have a lot going on in your life, or you may have people kind of coming at you. You may even have people that are kind of like spiritual gifts. What are you talking about? Like, I don't think so. What are you going to do with that? You think you're actually going to make a living with that? You think you're actually going to pursue that and something's going to come of it? You're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever this is, Scorpio, place it where you will, because this is a general reading for several people. Everybody's in a different timeline and a different place in their life. So, place it as a will. Take what resonates and leave the rest here. But with the Seven of Wands, this is standing your ground and having a confidence in saying, yeah, I know it's true, and you actually back it up and stand up for it. Okay. So if you're feeling some kind of adversity with others, make sure that you're bubbling up and guarding that energy of yours, because you will then get clarity in that moment of, what's right, what's wrong, and what is truth and what is not. Okay. Especially when people are coming at you like that. If you had to make some really hard decisions lately, make sure that you stand your ground in them. Okay. Your intuition is on point. So let's take a look at the beginning of August, see what we're coming into August with. I have the star. Okay, this is a beautiful energy to be going into. So, either you've gone through some significant changes here in the recent past, especially with July. You may have gone through a serious awakening, a little bit of a rebirth here. And usually, when there is a rebirth, we kind of go through a dark night of the soul. This means that we go through very significant change in our life, inside and out, and it can be extraordinarily stressful. And we, then need to go into a state of healing. So, you may have just kind of experienced that, wrapping up karmic cycles and old things, old paradigms, to enter into a new paradigm, a new timeline, and you had to let those things kind of fall away. So they may have been proving to be very challenging for you. So you may enter into the month of August in a state of continuing to be in that healing process. This could also be indicative of calling you to stand your ground, protect your energy of healing, and stand and kind of stand in that light as the star and put yourself first. Okay. Let's take a look at the middle of August here. This may be indicative of also a calling to, have you use your spiritual gifts. Come step into a calling that you have been feeling for some time, and maybe you're receiving signs and synchronicities and knowing this is the direction you're supposed to be take, but maybe you've kind of been putting it off a little bit. Okay, so this could be indicative of a calling to you using your healing gifts as part of your priority now. Okay, part of your life. I have the Lovers in the middle of August. Okay, so this is calling for, it can have to do with some relationships, and there may have been, a difficult choice that you've had to make that led you into a place where you've had to stand your ground in the Seven of Wands. You've had to set up healthy boundaries and guard and protect them, and know that your intuition is guiding you in the right direction on what choices to make. If you had to leave a specific situation or situations behind because they were no longer in alignment with you, in order for you to step into this higher timeline with your spiritual gifts, listen to your intuition, because it is on point and it is telling you to stand your ground in these situations here, no matter what the external, things kind of look like here. This is saying here that some significant choices had to be made. With the Lovers card, you either already made these decisions and now you're in this star energy, healing energy, and, putting up healthy boundaries here and standing your ground, being firm on that decision, or you're going to be facing this decision here in the month of August, where you may be presented with opportunities that are going to call for you to use your heart and soul in order to follow your intuition and do what's best for you in regards to what decisions to make on how to move forward. Okay. So whatever this is to you, Scorpio, make sure that you're, listening to your intuition, that you're tapped in, because the universe is trying to give you signs and synchronicities in regards to, what to do from here. Okay. This may be a significant spiritual calling to you. This may even be a very significant spiritual union that's coming in with either a high level soulmate, or this could even be a twin flame energy that's playing out here. Again, you need to place this where it belongs. This can even be just a significant relationship that may have to do with your future, or stepping more fully into your spiritual gifts, or on a new path in this new higher timeline that you need to look out for and make a decision to enter into, whether it's a friendship, a mentor, whatever this may be. It's a significant choice point. Okay, let's take a look at the end of August here, Scorpio. I have the devil coming out here in the end of August. Okay. This isn't really a bad card. Okay. This can be very passionate here, but this can also be an energy of, having conflicting energies. Okay. So this may even be a twin flame situation, or a very significant soulmate that has, kind of taken some kind of, place or change in your life so far. And you, again, maybe have exited out of that situation, or maybe, again, you're entering into it. So, put the pieces where they fit, Scorpio. But this could play out in a couple of ways here. With the devil card coming out at the end of August, this is telling you that whatever significant choice point you have here with, the lover's card here, it, may evoke a lot of fears in you. This may evoke a lot of, unhealed traumas, fears, anxieties from the past experiences that you've had in life, maybe even all the way back to childhood, or just in significant relationships in your life that you've experienced, that are going to evoke these things. But what they're going to do is kind of bring them to the surface for you to then purge and purify and heal, so that you can continue to level up and ascend into this newer energy. And so your spiritual gifts can then either level up or open up and become more significant. And you're going to be able to more better recognize the signs and synchronicities that are happening, and listen to your intuition more. This can also be indicative of the past kind of making a round again. Okay, with this lover's card being here, you may even have someone from the past try to test your boundaries here, and it's going to present you with a very significant choice point. You either need to decide to continue on and reconcile your differences with this person and continue down the path of old, which you kind of already know how that goes and how that ends, or you're going to decide, to go down a new path and follow your intuition toward your spiritual, timeline, which is going to be a higher timeline for you. So with the devil card, it's kind of a test as well. It can say, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to choose this new path and be brave, even though it's a bit uncomfortable, a bit scary? You got to stand your ground. It's really tough to go in a new direction. Or you're going to go down the path of old, which can feel very comfortable. It can feel very home-like, and it can feel very good. We tend to forget, the past and the challenges that we faced in those situations, and we begin to romanticize them. Okay, so don't fall victim to this devil energy here in the end of August. Make sure that you are hearing those signs and synchronicities. You're tapping into your spiritual gifts and your intuition, and you're listening for those steps to take, because your steps will likely not lead you into the devil's den. Okay. So if you're headed toward the devil's den and you're leaning more into, oh, that sounds great, that probably isn't your intuition speaking. That's going to be your ego and wanting to take comfort in your old patterns. Okay. So just take heed that this is going to be presenting you here sometime in the month of August. Okay. Let's take a look at some advice for you, Scorpio. The advice that I have here is the Six of Pentacles. This is just gaining a sense of balance in your physical world and reality. This is saying there needs to be an equal give and take of whatever you're putting time and energy into. With the Seven of Wands being your overall energy, Scorpio, this is saying be very mindful of your energy. Where are you placing your time, your energy, your resources? Make sure that it's balanced, okay? Because again, in order to have clarity, in order for us to hear those signs and synchronicities from the universe in our intuition, and be able to know which way to move forward and what decisions to make that are for our highest good, we need to be in a sense of balance. Okay. And even if this is going to be a significant, partnership or something that is going to make its way back around to you, or even a new one, the advice here is to make sure that things are balanced, that someone isn't coming in and breadcrumbing you again, that someone isn't putting you into this state of a codependency, in this devil energy here. Okay. Make sure that you're not falling back into these devil-like energies. This could even be, addictions and things, whatever this may be. It's just saying, get a sense of balance, get grounded so that you can follow your intuition correctly, and make sure that whatever you are entering into, whatever new situations, relationships, things you're doing, decisions you're making, make sure they're coming from a very solid and balanced place. Let's take a look at what's hidden in case there's something that you're not seeing, Scorpio, that we're pretty comfortable. What's hidden here is the chariot. Okay, things are beginning to align for you. Okay, so when we're in this energy of alignment with our highest good and we're making positive decisions, we're setting healthy boundaries, we're listening to our intuitive nudges, and we're taking those adequate steps that we're being given for our highest good. Things really begin to align with us. We align with the universe. And we get in alignment and we then go forward in the chariot energy, okay, and we become successful. But we have to be in alignment within ourselves in order to align with the universe, in order to move that chariot forward in a positive direction for our highest good, because it's only going to go in a direction that's for our highest good, because it is a card of victory. Okay, the only way to have victory is heading in a direction that is for our highest good. So you need to get very, very, very aligned with your decisions here so that you can align with the universe that wants to meet you halfway, that can then push you forward into the future in the direction that you're needing to go for your highest good and into your highest timeline here. Okay, so if you then decide to go the path of gold and you go into this devil-like energy, which is showing up here in the end of August, and you make a decision to, kind of stay on that old path, this is saying that you're just going to kind of find that you're stuck again, that your chariot is just not going anywhere. You're just going to be spinning tires, going nowhere fast. And, you may not be very surprised by that. Okay. So this is just kind of what's hidden here. Okay. In this opportunity, it's either an opportunity to go forward and triumph and succeed or be stuck and stagnant again. Okay. Let's take a peek into the month of September for you. See maybe what you'll see coming in September. Okay, I have the Page of Cups coming out in the month of September. Okay, so here it's going to be that openness. This is going to be entering into a very innocent, childlike energy where not only you're going to be able to find a place of, openness and forgiveness, and you're going to be able to feel a little bit more vulnerable again. Okay, you're going to be able to open that heart space again, that emotional space again, and be able to listen to those intuitive nudges and allow those gifts to grow. Okay, so if those gifts just kind of came online, you just had a recent awakening, you're going to build and strengthen your intuition, because if you heed the advice here and you make those wise decisions that are in alignment for your highest and greatest good, you're going to then strengthen and build that intuition and those spiritual gifts that you have, and they're going to get stronger and open more and get better and better. Okay, so this tells me that in the month of September you're going to be able to have this openness about you that is going to be very beneficial for you. Okay, I have the Two of Pentacles here on the bottom. Again, this is just saying, again, make sure you make those wise decisions. Okay, make sure that those decisions are coming from a balanced place. Make sure you're following your intuitive nudges, and things will play out quite nicely for you in the month of August, Scorpio. So I hope you found this reading to be helpful. And until I see you again, take care.